Hey everybody, this lesson is on ratio and proportions to get you ready for the new SAT. So there's our information if you want to get some more information on our program, if you want to sign up for a class or just ask questions, you can give us an email right there. Okay, so this is involves the area that's called problem solving and data analysis. So this is where all the word problems come into play. So Uh, so on this one, we're going to be dealing with the ratio and proportion. So here's all the problem solving and data analysis that we'll be covering in our class. And this area is just on ratio and proportion. So let's go ahead and get started here. Here's example one. So at BV High School, there are 240 students registered to take the SAT. The ratio of BV High School students to non-BV High School students registered to take the SAT is 5 to 1. How many students registered to take the SAT are non-BV high school kids? All right, so in these ratio problems that have a sum, the sum is 240, it's easiest just to let x be the multiplier of these ratios. And so this would be 5x and this would be 1x, and then we add these together to give us this total right here, 240. Okay, so 5x plus 1x equals 240, and then so we get x equals 40, and then it's asking how many are non-BV kids? Well, that would be my 1x right there, so it equals 40. Now, if it said how many were BV kids, I'd have to do 5 times 40, because this is the BV kids right here. This is the non-BV kids, so equals 240. So 5, this would be how many BV kids, but the question's how many non-BV kids, so that's just x. So be careful, you guys. Typically on x kind of problems, x is not the answer. It is here, but it usually isn't. So just kind of watch out if you come up with an x problem. Here's another one. Bob is remodeling his house and has drawn floor plans where 1 square foot represents 3 feet. If one room on his floor plan is in the shape of a rectangle and has the dimensions 3.5 squares by 5 squares, what is the actual area of the room in square feet? Okay, now we can set up a proportion and then cross multiply, but I think it's easiest just to draw a rectangle, you guys. 3.5 squares by 5 squares, and since each square represents 3 feet, let's multiply both of those numbers times 3. Okay, so we get 10.5 feet and 15 feet. And so what's the area of this room? We just multiply 15 times 10.5. And so that's going to give us 157.5 square feet. Okay, that's the easiest way, I think. Okay, so at a given location at the time of day, a student who is 4 feet high casts a shadow that is 6 feet long. So how long of a shadow would a 6-foot person cast? All right, this one I'm going to use a proportion, you guys. And the proportion is going to be made up of each ratio, person over its shadow. So person 1 over shadow 1 equals person 2 over shadow 2. So the person 1 is 4 feet high and 6 feet long shadow. So it's going to be 4 over 6. The second person, we're looking for the shadow, so that's what this is going to be, is x right here, and this person 2 is 6 feet high, so it'll be equals 6 over x, and then we cross multiply. Okay, so we get 9 feet. That shadow would be 9 feet. Okay, all right, you weigh m on Mars. Your weight, sorry, m on Mars varies directly with your weight e on Earth. If you weigh 116 pounds on Earth, you would weigh 44 pounds on Mars. Which equation relates E and M? Okay, well, I'm going to use the ratio M over E. Okay, we can do E over M if you want. It doesn't matter. And then let's put the ratios of our weights. So the Mars would be the 44. So that's going to go on top. It's going to equal 44 over the Earth weight of 116. So we set that equal. Then we cross multiply. And then let's look at the answers. Most of these answers are in terms of M. M equals, and here's a M equals right here. So let's divide both sides by 116, okay? Now, that doesn't give us any of these choices right here, but what we can notice is we can divide these both by 4, okay? 44 is easily to see. That's divisible by 4 11 times. And then, do you guys know the trick on divisibility by 4? You just have to look at the last 2 digits. The last 2 digits are 16. So since 4 goes into 16, 4 goes into 116. It goes in there 29 times, okay? So when you divide that, you get choice D right there, okay? All right, scientists estimate that one of the Earth's tectonic plates, which is called the Pacific Plate, has moved about 1,060 kilometers in the past 10.3 million years. What is the average speed of the Pacific Plate during that time period in centimeters per year? Okay, well here we have kilometers per million years. Okay, so we have kilometers per years right here. Let's change 10.3 to million, you guys. We're going to take this decimal and move it over 6 times. So when we move it over 6 times, it gives us 10,300,000 years right there. So here it is in terms of kilometers per years right here. We want it in terms of centimeters per year. So we're going to keep the years downstairs. We just got to change this to centimeters. All right, well, we know that there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer and there's 100 centimeters in a meter. So here, if we multiply it by 1,000 meters per 1 kilometer and 100 centimeters per 1 meter, here the kilometers will cancel. Here the meters will cancel and we'll be left with centimeters and years. So let's cancel those right there. Now we're left with just centimeters per year. So we're going to go ahead and multiply those numbers and we get 106 million over 10,300,000. Okay, and then we just reduce that and we get about 10.3-ish centimeters per year. Okay, that's how much those plates are moving per year. Okay, Burke County consists of two cities, Mayberry and Mount Pilot. Mayberry has an area of 30 square miles and a population density of 370 people per square mile. Mount Pilot has an area of 50 square miles and a population density of 290 people per square mile. What's the population density in people per square mile for the whole county of Burke County? Okay, so what we got to do is add the totals together right here. Well, here's the Mayberry totals right here. So there's 30 square miles, 370 per square mile. So we're going to estimate about 11,100 people. And Mayberry similarly is 14,500 people. Okay, so for the total people per square mile, we're going to do the population density is going to be the amount of people that we add together, and we got this number right here by adding these two numbers together. And the total area is 30 plus 50, so that's going to be 80. And so the population density is the total people divided by the total area, so we get about 320 people per square mile on that. Okay. All right, a bicycle shop buys its bikes for a wholesaler. For a particular bike, the shop usually charges its cost from the wholesaler plus a $75 markup, or 75% markup. Yowie. During a sale, though, the shop charged the wholesale cost plus a 15% markup. Gosh, aren't they good people? So if the sale price of the bike, so the sale price has only got the 15% markup right there, is $299. What's the price that they usually sell it for? So we got to find how much the wholesaler costs, and then we got to add 75% to that. Okay, so that 15% is 100% plus 15%. It's 100% of the wholesale cost plus an additional 15%. So that's where it's 115%. The 100% plus the 15% markup. Okay, so another way to write that is that 299 is 115% of what number, and that what number is going to be our wholesale cost. All right, so I taught percents in our class, and percents is we do a fraction equals a fraction, and the first thing we do is we put the number 100 right there, and the second thing we do is we put the percent. 115% goes right there. The third thing we do is we look for the word of. What's right after the word of? It's what? So that's our x. So x goes right there. And then this is always our leftover. So the 299 goes right there. Then we cross multiply, solve for x, and there's our wholesale price right there. Now we need to add 75% of that. So we're going to, so 75%, here's 100% right here. We're going to do 75%, and then so 175% is going to be our total price. So 175% of 260 is what? Here we go. Put the 100 right here, the 75 right here. Let's do that. So 100 there, 175 right there. There's the word of. What's right after that? 260. That goes right there. And then so this must be the leftover. The leftover is this what stuff, so it's x. Okay, cross multiply, solve for x, and we get the regular price would be $455. Okay, you guys, that's it. Take care.